Hey, welcome back. So today, we're diving into one of the most fascinating and, let's be honest, kind of scary things in all of biology: viruses. I mean, these things are the microscopic masters of invasion, and we're going to break down exactly how they pull it off. Okay, let's get right into it.
Right off the bat, you run into this massive contradiction. Viruses are stuck in this weird biological gray zone. I mean, they don't have the basic tools for life that you see in pretty much every other living thing. And yet, their impact is just enormous. So how on earth do they cause so much trouble? What's their secret?
And this right here really lays it all out. You've got living organisms on one side. They're like these bustling little factories, right? They grow, they make their own energy. And then you've got a virus. It's really just a little packet of genetic code, totally helpless on its own. It can't do a thing. It's a true biological puzzle, kind of like a ghost in the machine of life.
Okay, so to really get how they pull off these cellular takeovers, we have to look at their design. And honestly, it's a masterclass in minimalism. Every single piece is built for one thing, and one thing only: invasion.
Think of it like this. Every virus carries this simple but brutally effective toolkit. At the very center, you've got the genome. That's the blueprint, right? It's either DNA or RNA, and it has all the instructions for making more viruses. Wrapped around that is the capsid, a super tough protein shell that's basically its armor. And then some viruses, they add this extra layer, an envelope, which they literally steal from the cells they've just destroyed. And that's what's so wild about their design. There is absolutely no wasted space. It doesn't matter if it looks like a simple ball, a long tube, or some kind of complex geometric shape. Every single structure is perfectly optimized to be durable and to lock onto and break into a host cell.
So when this whole package, the blueprint, the armor, the whole thing, is fully assembled and just floating around outside a cell, it gets a special name: a virion. You can think of this as the virus in its full-on attack mode. It's the mature, infectious particle, locked and loaded for its mission. This is the agent of the heist.
So let's get to the main event, the mission itself. We're about to walk through, step by step, how a single one of these virions can hijack a healthy cell and turn it into a non-stop virus-making factory.
And this is it, the 5-step heist. It all kicks off with infiltration. The virus has to get past a cell's security. Once it's in, it's time for unpacking. It ditches its protective coat and releases its genetic blueprint. And now for the critical move, the hijacking. The virus's own genetic code takes over the cell's command center, basically tricking the cell into reading its instructions instead of its own. The cell becomes a zombie, and it starts mass production, pouring all of its resources into building thousands of new virus copies. And the grand finale? The escape. All those new virions burst out, usually destroying the cell in the process, becoming a whole new swarm of agents ready to do it all over again.
And what makes this whole cellular heist so incredible is the scale we're talking about. These things are submicroscopic, measuring just 10 to 400 nanometers. To put that in perspective, hundreds, maybe even thousands of them could cram inside just one of your cells. It's just mind-bogglingly small. All right. Now that we know their MO, let's meet some of the most infamous families in this viral rogues gallery. For the most part, we classify them based on one simple thing: what kind of genetic blueprint they're carrying. So you can basically split them into two major groups. You've got your DNA viruses, or deoxyriboviruses. Think herpes, smallpox, chickenpox. These guys tend to be more stable, a little more methodical in their attack. But then you have the RNA viruses, the riboviruses, like influenza, HIV, rabies. These are notorious for mutating like crazy, which is why you need a new flu shot every single year. They're the wild cards.
Now, the impact of these tiny hijackers is felt across the entire tree of life. I mean, they don't just target us. They are a massive force of nature that affects nearly every single living thing on this planet.
In the plant world, for example, viruses can be absolutely devastating. They can stunt growth, they can ruin entire crops. A classic example is the virus that causes peach leaf curl, which just warps the leaves and makes the tree really weak.
In animals, viruses are behind some of the most feared diseases in history. Things like rabies, which attacks the nervous system, or different forms of pestis or plagues that can just wipe out entire populations of animals.
And of course, in us humans, their impact is something we're all too familiar with. From something as common as the seasonal flu to devastating diseases like AIDS, or even the painful return of the chickenpox virus that we know as shingles, viruses are a constant part of our lives. When you boil it all down, after everything we've talked about, it comes to this one simple but really powerful definition. They are strictly intracellular parasites. What that means is they can only exist and they can only multiply inside a living cell. That's their entire world. It's their only survival strategy.
So, after this whole journey, from their incredibly simple design to their massive global impact, we're left with one last really fascinating question to think about.
So what do you think? Are they just simple, lifeless parasites just kind of drifting around until they get lucky? Or, when you think about their unbelievable efficiency, their perfect design for this one single purpose, and their massive impact on evolution and life itself, maybe we should see them as something else entirely, nature's most perfect and most ruthless machine.